Yo, what's up? This is Azariah Cummins, and you're about to watch the Called Out Conversation podcast. Whether you're at home, at your job, whatever you're doing, you're watching it. So we want you to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment to let us know how we're doing. We love you. Let's go. So, what's your name and how long have you been here?
I am Carson Johnson, and I have been here for the whole 26-year ride.
26
I
years.
am a charter member.
That's what's up. That's what's up. How's that experience been? How's that been?
Oh my gosh. It has been an experience.
Yeah.
It has definitely been a journey. We started out, and we were uh treading on new territory, if I can say it like that.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I have grown the entire time
Yeah.
with apostle and pastor,
Yeah.
on our, spiritual journey
Yeah.
as ecclesia. So that's it. Like I said, it's been an experience and it's been a journey, but
Yeah.
it's been well worth it.
That's good. Yeah. Do you remember how you felt when you walked in the sanctuary the first time, or you walked in? I guess to where were y'all lived in when y'all first started?
We started out at what this apartment place up the street is. It used to be Ramada Inn,
Okay.
and that's where we started at, in a
Okay.
little conference room. There were probably maybe 30 to 40 people
Okay.
the first night, and that's where we started. But when I came in, I knew that it was going to be something different.
Mhm.
And I think that's all of our expectation,
Right.
moving from tradition to non-denominational, which we weren't, what I'm saying, as versus that, we weren't calling it that, we were just saying, hey, look, our pastor is starting a new church.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
going, so we're gonna see what this is gonna be.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was definitely a sense of this is going to be different
Wow.
and life changing.
Were you looking for something different?
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
always. Now I'm the type of person, and I believe I've always been this way. I gravitate towards different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I started out when I met Apostle and Pastor. I was 15 or 16 years old,
Wow.
and
Oh wow.
I'm now 45. And was 15, 16 years old. They had started a community choir,
Okay.
Alabama Gospel Connection,
Yeah. Yeah.
and met a lot of different youth from the shows area, Mississippi, Alabama Mississippi Gospel Connection. I'm sorry. And started we started singing at the church that he was pastoring at in
Okay.
Mississippi.
Okay.
And there was just this drawing.
Mm.
Now, I got baptized when I was 11
Okay.
at my home church,
Okay. Okay.
Nazareth Primitive Baptist in Barton.
Okay.
So going to this, community choir, and then going to sing at the church, of course we would sit through the services and everything. It was just something different, about how Pastor Fitzgerald then, how Apostle, actually preached and delivered the word. And just the whole mass of all of us in that choir just about ended up at that church in Mississippi. I mean, because there was just a drawing.
Yeah. So a lot of people have talked about his preaching style, like, and how it has just drawn them. So like you personally, like, what has that done for you?
Oh man. Oh my gosh. It has really opened up my method of communication.
Wow.
My method of communication to know that I can be myself.
Yeah.
I don't have to, minister or talk or do anything like anyone else. When we came across Apostle, um full of just life, just energy,
Yeah.
just it just seemed like go, go, go,
Yeah.
and like no stops, like he busy now, but it seemed, at that time it was just really different to see, and a young man
Right. Yeah.
at that time as well.
Right.
Really young. The pastor that I was used to when I was a small girl, he was way older, probably in 80s somewhere. And then when I came up as a preteen, the pastor was probably like in his early 40s or something like that.
Okay.
But you're talking about, mid 20s, you know what I'm saying, something like that. And when we met Apostle, and it was just different.
Wow.
And like I said, the communication, just relatable.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
then,
yeah,
now you're hearing, so let me put this in your lap.
yeah,
He
yeah,
was doing that even then,
wow,
and not, just using those words,
right,
but we could actually see the word
yeah,
come to life. And
wow.
I believe that was a lot of the drawing.
Wow, yeah, and I think that's good because even in the generation that we have now, as people and everything, it's like you have to make the word live, to be
Yes.
able to know what to do. Because I
Yes.
think it's like somebody can tell you something about a scripture and be like, well, we
Mhm.
should do this, but when you see it personally in your life, it's just a
Mhm.
totally different.
Mhm.
Like, wow, it's a different
Yes,
drawing.
when you can actually, see your growth in the word,
Yeah, yeah,
that's, it makes it a whole lot more relatable,
yeah.
and it's a totally different field.
Yeah. All right. So now, you've been here. You're a charter member, right?
Mhm.
So over all of these years, the level of pouring you've got, how have you been able to pour into others?
Oh man, I feel like I've done everything here at Ecclesia, but played an instrument.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything. Well, I have to say the most impactful and fulfilling thing that I've been able to do here at Ecclesia Ministries was when me and my husband were the youth pastors.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That yeah, you were in that
Yeah. I
class
was in that class. Yeah. Yeah.
for 6 years, and man, to see even your growth now,
Yeah.
as the
Yeah.
young adult pastor,
Yeah. Yeah.
and some of your peers, those younger and older than you,
Yeah.
and just to see that you're still in church,
Yeah.
you're still following the word, you're still living the word,
Yeah.
you talking the word. I mean, it's just that has been one of the most fulfilling things, and it all just came from experiencing that really with apostle and pastor
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
that age,
Wow. Yeah.
because like I said, 15, 16 years old,
Yeah.
and that age in a person's life, I feel like really, can set the tone for a person's life for real. The
Absolutely.
things that
Absolutely.
you go through, the things that you experience,
Yes.
those things can really make or break
Yeah,
a
I agree.
person,
I'll say personally for us, because I was a part of that group,
Uh-huh.
and y'all used to, man, y'all was like, y'all was so we were learning, I guess, the art of praise or how we should be praising, kind of, if you will, the scripture of come into His courts with thanksgiving and enter
Uh-huh.
in with praise, so
Uh-huh.
that type of thing, and I remember being a kid, and I was like, oh my god, like I just did not get it, I didn't
Mhm.
understand it, like it was just like, oh my god, we got to do this, and now being an adult and having a family and all that type of stuff, like
Mhm.
oh my goodness, I was telling my wife, I said, I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful.
Yes.
It was really, really life changing, and I didn't even recognize it. And
Mhm.
I believe that when it starts that pattern, what I'm saying,
Mhm.
that carries on years and years
Yes.
down the road, and
Yes.
so
I mean, but
yeah,
to your credit though, at the same time, you and Jasmine, you and your sister were always in church
hmm
participating, you know
hmm
what I'm saying? So I think that makes it a little easier, to do things in ministry
right, yeah,
and not be afraid.
yeah,
But at the same time, when you come to the realization, as like a teenager
yeah,
becoming that young adult,
right, yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, oh, okay, so this is what they were
Yeah,
telling me.
yeah, 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 yeah. All right. So if you had 30 seconds to tell someone why this church matters, what would you say?
Oh man, 30 seconds. Um, this church matters because it is home.
Mm,
It is a welcoming environment. Um, it is family oriented,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
know that's big for a lot of people.
yeah,
You're gonna get the word
yeah,
unadulterated,
yeah,
sometimes raw,
yeah,
but
yeah.
at the same time, it's life changing.
Mhm.
It is completely life changing. So that's what I would say. Home, welcoming, and life changing is why we matter.
So we all go through hard seasons and places in life, and so I want to know, how did this church help you through a time that you were going through?
Oh man. um, I've had a lot of hard times here in the ministry, and not so much, just dealing with the people in ministry or
Right.
anything like that, but just life was lifing,
You're right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it really showed me what family
Mhm.
and community was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've always said I've got a small family,
Mhm.
biological family,
Mhm.
and not the closest at times.
Mhm.
So a lot during my early adulthood years, somewhere in my early 20s till around maybe 30ish or something like that,
Okay.
I clung to my church family.
Yeah.
Like when I tell you my church family has come through for me time and time again.
Wow.
There was not one time I couldn't, ask someone to do something, but one time really is prevalent in my mind right now. When I went through my first divorce,
Mhm.
and that was here also.
Mhm.
Uh, Went through my first divorce, and I was working, and my job went on it was Christmas time. My job went on a Christmas shopping trip or whatever, like a morality thing amongst,
Uh-huh.
coworkers and everything.
Right. Yeah.
Did that, and the same day I had been signed up for the Angel Tree,
Okay.
which is a tree during Christmas time. People come, and get names off of,
Mhm.
children to help, make their Christmas and everything
Okay.
when the parents aren't able to.
Yeah.
Um, so I had signed up for that because my funds were really limited, and the Hughes family. Always, like I said, it's just been community, it's been family. The Hughes family, Mother Mary, Sister Felicia,
Mhm.
they they came and got my kids while I was out of town. The kids had to be present to actually get the presents,
Okay.
and they
Okay.
had it over here at the Coliseum in Florence. And they came and got my kids
Wow.
and took them to get their presents
Wow.
and brought them, because I was staying with my mom at that time.
Mhm.
Came and brought them back home, with all their presents and everything.
Yeah.
And those are people that are just, I'm saying, always there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the families in Ecclesia, all the families are like that here.
Yeah.
So you can really depend on each other, and it's genuine love.
Yeah.
Now, I like all families, we may have our, falling outs and
Right.
stuff,
Yeah.
disagreements or
Right.
whatever it is, but
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, it's all love.
Yeah.
And that's what, makes going through your hard times, here at Ecclesia even, a whole lot easier. I
Yeah.
guess I could say it makes it a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a funny one now.
Okay.
How many outfits do you try on before you come to church?
Oh my goodness.
That's just we
I'm
just
so weak. I knew fashion was gonna be in here somewhere because it's just me.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, uh, I only have one outfit.
Okay.
One outfit.
Okay.
When I was little, my mom always prepared our clothes at night. That
Yeah.
was for school or church or whatever
Mhm.
the event was.
Yeah.
And so we always were ready the next morning, and I have carried that all the way through my life.
Oh.
So I
Okay.
prepared the night before,
Yeah, I
and
agree. Yeah.
depending on what the outfit is, sometimes a week or two
Right.
ahead.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
just because order stuff sometimes,
You're right. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we don't have to wait on stuff to come in. But yeah, just one, just the
Wow.
one.
So, what's the inspiration like when you think like, what do you do? Like, just is it God or what? Like, is it what is it? Just
Now I'll have it if I know that I'm, up for a task or something like that or whatever,
mhm.
I may be, a whole lot more intentional, about my appearance.
Okay.
Because to me, first impressions really matter. We,
Absolutely.
we used to hear that a whole lot,
Right.
especially before COVID.
Mhm.
And then after COVID, everything just went so relaxed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I'm still, of that opinion that
Mhm.
first impressions really matter.
Yeah.
So if I know I'm gonna be, up before the people or something like that, I'll, come. I'll probably pull out something that I hadn't wore before,
Mhm.
or that there's something I've worn. You know what I'm saying? Maybe years ago, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah.
ain't nobody gonna remember this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't, ladies, everybody go through that. But anyway, but that's kind of the predetermining factor,
Mhm.
or sometimes, and I know this is just a gift for me, I'll know the trends before they'll actually come out.
Wow.
So, and
Okay.
then sometimes I'll see something, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, like, way ahead of time. Cause like
Yeah.
I said before, I'm attracted to different things.
Right. Right.
And then like years later,
Then they
it,
come.
it,
Yeah.
it, it just, kind of hits this area.
Right.
Cause in our area, we're a little slow about fashion.
Yeah.
So it's just the truth. It's just the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's pretty much what my thinking is about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's what's up. So I
That was a
actually.
revelation, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because I probably be
Yeah.
looking like, man, it probably took her forever to get ready, but no.
Wow. So that's what I wanted to ask you about. So you said something about the intentionality of
Hmm.
when you dress. So did you learn that here, or how did that come about?
Oh my gosh. First, my grandmother
Mhm.
and my mother,
Okay.
they were well, and my mom still is
Mhm.
classy dressers.
Mhm.
They didn't believe in just showing a lot of your body
Right.
and
Right.
everything. Now my mom came through the 70s, you know what I'm saying. She did the midriffs and the bell
Yeah.
bottoms, you know what I'm saying, because that was the hot thing back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I tried it a little bit in high school, I ain't gonna lie about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But really just being modest in dress, and covering yourself up. And then that also came from here as well.
Mhm.
We all know
Mhm.
Apostle and Pastor B, like,
I'm telling
our
you.
leaders are clean.
I'm telling you,
So I mean,
dude.
they be sharp. Like, I was looking
Yeah.
at Pastor Tina yesterday, like, come through this.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Yes, I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
seriously, just watching them and observing, how they dress and put themselves together or whatever.
Mhm.
That's one of the things that is also drawing, because we
Mhm.
have a saying here, that excellence attracts.
Yeah. It
You
does.
know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
it
I
does.
mean,
Yeah.
and even in
Absolutely.
your leisure wear,
Yeah.
you can do that, you know what I'm saying, in an attractive way,
Absolutely.
to where it's not looking like you throwed away per se.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
that you put yourself together, you know what I'm saying, in a very attractive way,
Mhm.
and in excellence. So
Absolutely.
that's,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
even for this moment here, I this may seem a lot, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, for someone or whatever,
Mhm.
but to me this is comfortable.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but this is just how I get down.
Right.
You know, this is how I get down.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, that's pretty much my thought process on it.
Mhm.
And Ecclesia, man, we are just we're a different animal. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
will. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, when
Yeah.
it comes to just about everything, and
Yeah.
fashion is not excluded.
No. No.
Not excluded at
It's not
all,
about
cause
it, but you know.
right. I
Yeah.
mean, cause we have some sharply dressed people in
Yeah.
this ministry,
Yeah. Yeah.
and but it's not. You know what I'm saying. We don't let those things overtake us.
Yes.
You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying, at
Yes.
all. Now
Yes.
we'll run around here, we'll eat carpet,
I'm telling
we'll
you.
roll
Throw a
around in the
shoe off.
floor, throw
Yeah.
a shoe
Whatever.
off.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
I didn't had glasses broken
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I didn't lost
Yeah.
the heels of shoes in here before, and all
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
none of that stuff makes us or whatever,
Right.
but we do try to have this sense of, when you come before the king,
Hmm.
you need to come at your best.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
know.
And I think that culture you were talking about of establishing excellence is that it's a
Yes.
culture. It's like your lifestyle. It's like we
Yes.
don't just come to church and be excellent. We excellent
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
And people like you had have a business and
Uh,
just the whole nine, like
yes.
excellent in business and mark in your life, everything you're doing. It's,
Uh,
it's excellent.
well, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, yeah.
I try.
Yeah.
I try.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think that's good though. I think that's what the
Mhm.
what we've built and what Apostle and Pastor have built for us
Yes.
to go by.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely their legacy.
Yeah.
We've been through, so many different things, you know what I'm saying, because this is a journey
Hmm.
and it is an experience. But one of the things, that we have always harping in on is excellence.
Yeah.
And I know we joke a lot of times about, we probably done built this church a thousand different ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always painting on something like, hey,
Yeah.
when a big time come up or a big event or whatever, well,
Uh,
we know we're gonna be doing this.
yeah.
But at the same, but that's, keeping excellence at the forefront of our minds,
Right.
because when you come in on the parking lot, your grass being manicured, your
Yeah.
flower beds,
Yeah. Yeah.
looking in excellence,
Yeah.
all of those things matter.
They do. I
So,
agree.
because we're, a sensory oriented people as
Right.
well.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
pretty, it's kind of like, when you look someone in the face,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of know if you want to deal with that person or not.
Yeah.
So when they come up on the church grounds, it's very important for things to be, neat and to be beautiful and to
Right.
be in excellence.
Absolutely. Even you said we are a multisensory. That's what we do.
Mhm.
Multisensory worship here
Mhm.
at Ecclesia. So it's like we engage in your five senses: your touch, your
Mhm.
sight, your taste, all of it. And I think what you said, it
Mhm.
matters though.
It does.
Yeah, to
It
pull
really
up.
does.
Yeah, to pull up, and it's like, oh my goodness, like this is
Like,
beautiful.
okay,
Yeah.
this might be a little something in there
Right,
going
yeah,
on.
yeah. And I think the biggest goal is it all goes back to God though. And
Mhm.
it goes back to God. It's not even about like us or how we do it, but
Right.
it's like God is so excellent that we gotta be excellent as
Right.
possible.
Right.
We gotta be as excellent as possible. And
That's
matter of
right.
fact, the Bible says if He be lifted up, then He'll draw all men
Mhm.
unto
Yes,
Him.
sir.
And so if we're gonna do that, let our light shine. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
hey,
That's a part of it.
yeah,
And living in excellence is a part of that. Because like I said, I know, some people are probably like, man, she just extra, but
mhm.
I mean, this is an extraordinary house. There is nothing ordinary about
At
Ecclesia
all.
Ministries at all.
Yeah.
It's a part of our vision.
Yeah.
We say it every Sunday.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, but it's definitely the truth. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? From
Absolutely.
where we came from to where we are now,
Mhm.
and we always kind of say, when we're telling the story of Ecclesia, people said we wouldn't make it.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
were just, kind of like, because at that time it was, you're either in these associations and
Right.
or you know what I'm saying, you're not really doing anything.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for apostle and pastor to step out on faith
Yeah.
and knowing they were hearing God's voice,
Yeah.
and then that, because that's a whole nother something else,
Right.
that's a whole
Yeah.
nother sermon
Yeah.
for another day. But
Yeah.
and to take on that responsibility, and start Ecclesia Ministries,
Yeah.
and for the people that have remained, even the people that have come and gone,
Mhm.
for even the ones that have come and gone, they're like, that ministry, when I see people that used
Mhm.
to be a part of the ministry, that it was life changing,
Yeah. Yeah.
for them,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's no matter what note they left on,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
it was a difference maker,
Yeah. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
some way in their life.
Yeah. So, if you had to describe ecclesia with one whole word, what would your word be?
Whew, one word. Transformation.
Oh, transformation. Why
hmm
transformation?
Uh, because just to accumulate everything we've talked about, it's transforming.
Yeah.
It is life changing.
Mhm.
You cannot be in this church
Yeah.
any length of time
Mhm.
and not have some type of change happen in your life. It's impossible.
Wow.
It is impossible.
Wow.
And I'm saying that this is from a charter member.
Yeah.
I have been here the whole 26 years. It is impossible for you to stay the same way that you first came in these doors. Something is going to change.
Yeah.
Something is going to change. And you're going to know it has changed.
Yeah.
There will be evidence
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the change.
Yeah.
And I know, just you personally being here, all your life, you've seen it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you've experienced it.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
You've experienced it. I mean, not just to give out your story,
Mhm.
but brought your girlfriend in from high school.
Yeah.
Girlfriend came and stayed.
Yeah.
Girlfriend is now wife.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
now you all are young adult pastors.
Right, yeah.
There is absolutely no way you can come in this church and not be changed.
Yeah.
No way.
We want to say happy 26th church and pastoral anniversary. Yes, we're still celebrating on God's goodness and His faithfulness and blessing us with leadership work following. We love you. God bless you. Let's go.